Hi traders, you're welcome to Currency House online webinar, and today we'll talk about hot test assets to earn profits the rest of 2016. We'll talk about the history of last weeks, and we'll talk about the upcoming year 2017 and how to make money on all of the profits, all of the assets that were most profitable during last weeks of trading. So sit back, enjoy, and listen and look to the things that I'm going to show you today. And today we'll talk, wait a second, okay. Today we'll talk about several things, and we got some most profitable deals in the year 2016, especially the second part of it. We'll talk about fundamentals, we'll talk about technical backgrounds, and we'll talk especially about key technical points of US dollar versus Japanese yen in the year 2016. Which was one of the most profitable assets to trade. We'll talk about a cross rate, which is British pound versus Japanese yen. And we'll talk about fundamentals, we'll talk about what is this currency pair, and we'll talk about technical analysis as well. Today, one of the topics is precision metals. Gold and silver, and we'll try to figure out, we'll try to understand, is it commodity or financial instrument, and how to make money on that movement, how to make money on both precision metals, and how to make maximum profits on that assets. And today we'll talk about examples of signals. We'll talk about one secret technical analysis tool, one indicator which is not so famous, but at the same time this tool, this technical analysis indicator, is helping you to make money every day. And we will see how can you make 1,000 pips of a profit in one single week. And I'm going to show you a couple of examples. I'm going to show you a couple of signals how to use that technical indicator. But before that, we have to understand a couple of basic things. And as we said, we'll start with the US dollar versus Japanese yen. So let us switch to the platform. Let's take a look at a couple of charts, and we will talk with examples, okay? So, we're at our platform, and the first chart that we'll take a look today is the US dollar versus Japanese yen, and the time frame is daily. So it means that one candle is one single trading day. I have highlighted here a couple of very important things, and those two things are most technically. They are based on a technical analysis, and I will show you why. I will show you the reasons why I highlighted those things. But the second two things which were very important this year are mostly fundamental events, and I will show you how can you use the combination of technical analysis and fundamental analysis just in order to make right decisions on the market and to make profits at the end of the day with the Currency House. So first of all, let's take a look at this period of time, and you can see here that there is a kind of consolidation period. We don't see any movement, we don't see any trend here, and let's just imagine that we don't know this part of the chart. Let's just imagine that we can see just this thing. So we got two options. The first is that consolidation that we see here is just trying of find forces to get further on the downside. And the second option, this consolidation means that we have already found the bottom and we are going to go up on the trend. So let us add the secret indicator, very powerful tool for the technical analysis, which is Ichimoku Cloud. Ichimoku, you can search at the list of our indicators in the platform of Currency House and you choose Ichimoku. Well, yes, it seems to be rather complicated because of lots of settings, lots of lines, lots of clouds and spans, but what do I recommend you is not to change anything in the default settings of the Ichimoku Cloud. The only thing that I'm always changing is the color of the Kijun line. It's just to have a better contrast. I'm choosing blue color just to have the contrast. It's not affecting any changes on the periods, on the settings of this indicator, on the mathematics of this indicator. It's just the color of the line. So Ichimoku Cloud, just a couple of words about the history. This indicator has been developed by Japanese traders. So you can think that it works better for assets with the Japanese yen. But I will show you at the end of this webinar that this indicator works with lots of assets, not just Japanese yen. I will not try to explain you here and today why and what are the mathematical basics, mathematical background of this indicator, just because I don't want you to get tired today, and it's a rather boring thing. The thing that I'm going to show you tonight is that how to use on the practice, how to use on exact examples, and how to see how the signals of this indicator work. So let's add to the chart. No way. It's something wrong, sorry. Wait a second. Nothing happens. Oh, it's not a good thing. It seems like we have to reload the platform. I'm very sorry about that stuff. We'll reload the platform just a couple of seconds of your time. I'm using demo account just for not to showing you the lots of stuff in my live account. But you have to understand that our demo and live accounts, they have same conditions. It means that demo account has same story with the live account. So you don't have to be worried about any difference. Okay, we're back. We have reloaded the platform. You see that it's very fast, and we're searching for Ichimoku Cloud. To add, we're changing just one color of one of the lines and click OK. Here we go. I have highlighted a couple of very important things for this indicator, and now I'm going to show you why. First of all, you know that there was a downtrend from that side, and here we can see a strong signal when the green line of this indicator crossed the yellow line. You know that all of the technical indicators, they have signals, they have strong reversal signals when the lines are crossed. And you can see here one of the signals. It's very important for the Ichimoku Cloud when the lines are crossing. We can see the same situation here when the blue line crosses the yellow line. And it's also a very strong indicator of the strong reversal. I would say that it is a confirmation of the reversal. So we have one signal, we have consecutive second signal, and we have here very important thing when the price, when the candles are going up through the span, through the cloud, and we see that it's not just inside the cloud. The price has broken the cloud itself, and we see the closing price of the day above the cloud, which is always a strong signal, which is always a confirmation for the trend to reverse. So when we see a trend like this, we see a span, the cloud, we see the blue line, the yellow line, the price itself, and the green line. So that is the order of all of the lines and spans where the Ichimoku cloud indicates a strong trend. In case if we see such a thing like this, it means that it's a consolidation period. It means that we don't even understand where the price will go, whether it's going to go up or down. So all of those things are very important for the Ichimoku cloud. Those are signals that something is changing, that the downtrend of the Japanese yen is over, I mean dollar Japanese yen, and the uptrend is going to be in place. Then I also highlighted a couple of things, because you understand the price is always making a technical background before the fundamental trigger. So once the trigger takes place, it's always a signal for accelerating of the technical background. It's a signal of realization of that pattern that we see on the technical. And we can see that here the United States election day was one of the most powerful triggers when it comes to the fundamental analysis, and it caused a huge trend of Japanese yen, a huge trend with more than 1,600 pips in a very short period of time. It was the 1,600 pips move on the upside without any significant pullbacks, and the period of time is just a bit more than 1 month. So you see here that Ichimoku cloud can be used as a leading indicator. It means that it's one of the rare indicators in the technical analysis which is showing the futures. Just take a look here. The span, I mean the cloud, is moving ahead the price. So we got this line which is below the price, I mean behind in the time frame, and we can see here that the span, the cloud itself, it's in the future, it's predicting, it's showing the future. So Ichimoku cloud has always been an indicator which is showing the future, I mean leading indicator for the technical analysis. Let's take a look here, and this is also a very important event that we talked about on the previous webinar. It's the Fed rate hike, the Fed press conference. Lots of people were expecting the Janet Yellen to become a dove again, as she was showing herself at the previous press conferences, but she said we are very hawkish now, just because the economy is very strong and lots of people believe in Mr. Trump, that he's going to make changes. So that was a very significant thing in the fundamental analysis, just to confirm the trend and just to show that we will see much higher prices in the future of this asset, of the US dollar versus Japanese yen. So I'm not going to talk about the fundamental background of such a movement, of such a trend, because we already spoke about it on the previous webinar, and you can watch it, was recorded, and it's been placed at our YouTube channel. So if you want to understand the reason why Japanese yen is going down versus the US dollar and why we see such an uptrend in this pair, you could just take a look. You could just watch our previous webinar, and it's placed on the YouTube channel. So you can see here how the Ichimoku cloud works, and you can see a couple of things which are very interesting, and you can see that Ichimoku cloud is working as a leading indicator, and it works good in predicting the future. I will talk later in this webinar about the practical usage of this indicator in the intraday trading strategy. We'll talk about how to use this indicator in the sense of adding positions, in the sense of entering to the markets. But it's going to be a bit later. Let's just move ahead. And now we'll talk about another pair which is based also in Japanese yen, and we'll talk about pound versus yen, I mean British pound, which, well, this pair gave us profits more than 2,000 pips. Just imagine 2,000 pips in a very short period of time of 1 month, of 5 weeks probably. So it's much more profitable in that sense. But before we'll talk about pound yen, before we will take a look at the Ichimoku cloud and how it works with that pair, we have to understand what is a cross rate. We have to understand how it works, and we have to understand the components of it and the background in the sense of fundamentals. So I will switch. You know that our platform allows you to have lots of workspaces. You can choose any, you can add, you can have lots of charts, same charts, but with different indicators, with different time frames. You can set up everything in our platform to use comfortable. So we're switching to a different pattern. We see here two charts. Pound US dollar daily chart and US dollar Japanese yen, also with the same time frame with the daily. So first of all, if we are going to talk about the British pound versus Japanese yen, we have to understand that it is a cross rate. What is cross rate? You know that all of the currencies are measured and are counted through the US dollar. US dollar is the worldwide main trading currency. So for example, if you got Japanese yen and you want to buy British pound, you have to buy US dollar first, and then you have to change these US dollars into British pound. So that is the reason why we have major currency pairs like British pound US dollar, like US dollar Japanese yen, like euro US dollar. So every currency pair with the US dollar nominated, they counted like measures. And the British pound versus Japanese yen is a cross rate. It means that you have to make one more operation before you change your Japanese yens into British pound. So British pound versus Japanese yen, as I told, gave more than 2,000 pips of a profit in the last weeks. And in order to understand this pair, we have to understand that it has two components. And the first component is always the British pound versus US dollar. So the history of this year shows us very interesting picture. I'm sure that you all remember about the Brexit story. You remember the massive sell-off of this currency pair. You saw the depreciation of British pound versus US dollar and versus lots of currencies just right after the Brexit. But what was the story? People were expecting that the Brexit will cause huge troubles in the British economy, and even Bank of England, which is a central bank of Britain, they cut the interest rates several times. But in the middle of this year, just right after the summer, seems like British pound has found a bottom. And I highlighted here very important time frame, very important time range. It's between October, let me check, October 9 and November 1st. We can see here a period of consolidation. I will show you why this period is so huge and so important for this pair. You will understand it just right in a couple of minutes. So the same period here for the Japanese yen, we don't see any huge movements in this in dollar Japanese yen. And I will show you why. I will show you why in the next chart. But before that, I have to explain. You have to understand that British pound versus Japanese yen goes up very fast in case if British pound versus US dollar goes up, and at the same time the US dollar versus Japanese yen goes up. So you have to remember when you trade the cross rates that it always contains two components, and all of these components are important to understand to analyze this pair. So we highlighted the days. I will show you why this time range is very important. One more thing is about the story of British pound this year. Let me delete this. Let me delete this thing just to show you that this candle, it was October 8, has a very, very huge tail on the downside, and this movement on the downside has been made in just a couple of hours. Just imagine that it was more than, wait a second, more than 400 pips in a couple of hours. So lots of stories about this day, and one of the most important thing was the stop loss hunting. So it means that people were trying to find the bottom. Traders were trying to find what is the power of British pound on the bottom range of all of this story. And just right after this day, British pound has found its bottom, and you can see that after a period of consolidation, it bounced back. So this day was very important, and I will show you the same exact day on the chart of British pound versus Japanese yen. Let's switch to that chart. Here we go. Okay, the same day, the same stop loss hunting, the same huge movement, more than 500 pips. This shadow contains 500 pips. Just imagine, it means that in one day, people went on the downside 500 pips, reversed, and went back 500 pips in one single day. So it was a huge event, it was a huge movement. And as we highlighted those 2 days, this period of time, you can see on this chart, you can see that this period exactly divides on two sides. We can see a downtrend on this pair here, and before this period, and we can see the uptrend just right after this period, and we see the consolidation period between those dates. And again, Just imagine that you don't know what happened after this green line. Just try to close this part of the screen. And what you can say about this period, you are not sure, you cannot tell whether the price is consolidating just before the next downside movement and continuation of this downside trend, or is it going to reverse? So that is the reason why you need a leading indicator, why you need such a complex, such a strong indicator as Ichimoku Cloud. And remember, it always works very good with the assets nominated with Japanese yen, because at the end of the day, Ichimoku is Japanese word. Japanese traders invented this indicator. All right, so let's switch it. Let's add this indicator to the chart. Remember about changing the color just to have a contrast, and leave all of the settings default. Click OK, and what do we see here? Again, the same very strong signal. The green line, which is, let me check, what's the name of it? I don't really know Japanese language, honestly. It's Senoku. Senoku span. It crosses the yellow line here and the blue line at the same day. You see that it's a very, very strong signal about possible reversal of the trend. You can see that the span, I mean the cloud, is bearish here, and you can see that it became bullish right after that. So this day is very important. It's just the first signal for the trend reversal. Next day and next indicator signal which showing us the confirmation that the trend has been reversed is the cross of yellow and blue line. Those are, let us check the names, Tenkan-sen and Kijun-sen. I'm sorry about the pronunciation, I don't know Japanese language again. So we see very important signals for the Ichimoku Cloud, and you can see that the time frame of this chart is daily, so all of them are very important in the midterm, in the long-term analysis. So all of those signals are very strong, and you can see that just right after that signal, the pound yen reversed and started a huge upside trend. Let's just count. Let's just count. We see 126.43 here, and the highest price of this trend was 148. So it's more than 2,000 pips. It's almost 2,200 pips of the profit. In what period of time? In a very short period of time, from 2 months. 8 weeks. 8 weeks is giving you 2,000 pips of the profit. Just imagine that. So it means that 1,000 US dollar investment is giving you $20,000 of net profit. It's incredible. So very interesting couple of fundamental events that occurred, that took place, and that triggered that movement. So the first one was Bank of England rate decision on November 3rd, sorry, and a press conference. They told to all of the traders worldwide that they are going to stop the rate hike, the rate cut, as it was before, and they gave a signal, a strong signal to all of the traders worldwide that the British economy is still strong, that the Brexit issue is not going to have so many impact as lots of people thought. So it means that British pound has been underpriced comparing to Japanese yen, to all of the currencies. So, and if you add the second component, which is Japanese yen, which is also been depreciating during all of that period, you can see that the fundamental reasons of that movement are very strong. And you can see also one more trigger fundamental event, which was the USA election day. You can see that just right after this day, when it closed, take a look where the closing price of this day is. Right, it's above the span, above the cloud. So it's a very strong signal, technical analysis signal, that's indicating trend reversal, that's confirming. You see that we have 3 consecutive confirmations of the trend reversal. So it's showing us a good, very strong and healthy trade of the British pound versus Japanese yen. So if we switch back to our list, you can see the list of our top trades, the hottest assets to trade, and Japanese yen is among them. You can see that British pound versus Japanese yen gave more profits. It gave more than 2,000 pips of the profit in a very short period of time. Moreover, I will show you a bit later how to use Ichimoku Cloud, how to trade this pair intraday, inside one day. So you can have even more profits, even more than that 2,000 pips of the profit, without lots of risks. So, assuming Ichimoku Cloud is a very powerful technical analysis tool that is helping you to understand not just trend reversal, it's helping you to understand not just volatility, as you see that in case if the span is going wide, it means the volatility. And you can see here that the span, the cloud itself, is always leading the price. So it means that it's very easy to predict the future using this indicator. Plus, moreover, this indicator is giving you the retracement levels. Look at this yellow line. Look at this yellow line inside and during the trend. You can see that price is always been bouncing down to the yellow line, and yellow line has been a support to the pound yen during this trend. So you can use the yellow line in order to understand how to re-enter the market, how to add your positions, or in case if you trade intraday, it's giving you the understanding of the entry levels. So this is a very powerful indicator. What's next? We have to talk about other assets that gave us profits and that they are giving us profits in the next coming weeks and months. And we have to talk about silver, we have to talk about gold. First thing that I have to explain to you is fundamentals again, because you understand that fundamentals are very important, even more important than technical analysis. And all of the most powerful signals, they come in a combination from fundamental and technical background. So first of all, let's take a look at 2 charts at the same time. Gold daily and silver also daily. If you can take a look at those charts, you see that they are very, very similar to each other. They move in the same pace. They got very equal pattern and they look similar. And the reason why is just because, let's try to understand, gold. I told you in the previous webinar, you already know that gold is not only a commodity, it's not only precision metal, it's a financial instrument. And let's try to figure out what is silver. Silver has the same fundamental background as gold. Yes, it's used in lots of industry, it's used as a commodity, as a precision metal, but at the same time, it's also a safe haven asset because When just imagine that you have $1 billion and you want to get savings. You don't believe in stocks. You don't believe in any asset that is giving profit or loss. So you want to get inside the precision metals, for example. So would you buy just gold? I'm sure not. You will buy also silver, you will buy also platinum, diamonds, and all of that stuff that is giving the same idea. So silver fundamentally is always looking at the price of gold. But at the same time, silver is much more volatile than gold. So my point is that you can use the same signals for gold in order to trade silver. You have to understand that in case if we talk about volatility, you have to have much more buffer to trade such an asset as silver. And my recommendation for you, if you want to get more profits, you have to have more account balance, because you have to be more flexible at the markets. So coming back, we see that those assets are similar. They are very, very close to each other, and the price of silver is always looking at the gold. So let's switch to the same daily chart of gold, but with the Ichimoku cloud. What do we see here? First of all, Mr. Trump election. This is a very strong signal for every indicator, because we have the upside shadow, and it means that we had a try. The price of gold was trying to get through the span, was trying to get through the cloud, but it failed. So it means that bulls, they lost their fight to the bears in this single day, and it's always been a strong signal to sell this asset. And if you can count the profits just right from the election of Mr. Trump, you will see that we've gone more than 2,000 pips, more than 2,000 points in a very short period of time. It's been 5 weeks, not more than that. But if we get back to a very interesting technical analysis pattern, we can see here that gold is showing us, let me say, was getting ready to this thing just before these days. So we see the cross of the line once, we see the cross of the line twice, we see very, very strong signal here when the price is inside the cloud and it's trying to get through it, it's trying to get above the cloud, but it fails again. You see that here is a very, very strong sell signal, and it was September 2016. Nobody knew about the election of Mr. Trump except a couple of people, except a couple of huge institutional investors, and except a couple of billionaires that can control the market. And you can see here that the background of this huge movement has been built before. And the main idea of all of that is that Ichimoku cloud is showing you the signals. Yes, you have to wait for the huge movement, and you have to wait for the huge events just to understand, to realize, and to get this pattern in reality. But at the same time, you can see here that it's giving huge signals. Also, this thing is a huge signal. It's a cross again. It's when the Ichimoku cloud from the bullish became bearish. You can see this cross, and it's a strong signal. And just remember, every time you watch the Ichimoku cloud, just remember that the Ichimoku, the cloud itself, is giving you the signal ahead of the price. Not at the same day of the price, but ahead of the price. So this signal has been made somewhere here in this period of time. You understand what I'm trying to say, right? When the price is here, this is a daily chart, and it's the cloud itself is showing you the future. So that's my point. That's my point. All right, let's go to the silver and take a look at the silver at the same manner. Ichimoku cloud, silver chart, daily time frame. What do we see here? Again, the cross of the lines once. The green line crosses the blue line, which is also very important. Second, we see the lower highs, consecutive lower highs. We can see here next confirmation, which is the yellow line crosses the blue line from the upside, and the price is getting inside the cloud. All right, it bounces back, it's trying to find the direction here, but we see the strong signal here, the cross of the span. So the Ichimoku cloud becomes bearish just after the bullish. You see the difference in colors, you see the cross. So when it comes to the practice trading, I would highlight just two very important signals. This is the first sell signal when the price is trying to get out of the span and it fails. You see this day when the shadow is above the span, is above the cloud, but the closing price is inside. It's a fail. It means that bulls don't have enough power to get outside the cloud, and it is a very, very strong signal to sell this asset, to sell silver. You can see that the price went just crazy down more than 3,000 pips in 2 weeks. And by the way, it was right before, it was more than a month before the Trump election. So my point is that Ichimoku cloud is giving you rather strong signals on it based on the technical analysis without lots of fundamental triggers. Well, yes, we all know that silver is rather volatile and lots of things could happen, but at the same time, take a look at this day. This is right, the Trump election day, and we can see that Ichimoku is showing us the downtrend, already showing, without any fundamental trigger. And this day, the November 9, is just the same signal that we had here, almost the same, okay? So the price is trying to get inside the cloud. The price is trying to break it, right? But it fails again. What do we see here? The closing price is below the bottom line of the span. It is below the bottom line of the cloud. So we are trying to get inside the cloud, but we fail. I mean bulls. It means that bears taking control of the market. And take a look at this candle. It's unbelievable. Just take a look at this candle right after the signal. We see here open price 18.580, high price 18.23, and the low is 17.183. Just count that. Just count the difference. More than 1,000 pips in one single day of trade. 24 hours of trade is giving you 10 times of the investment. Unbelievable. Incredible profit. Here we see the same story. It's the December 15th. It's the day right after the Federal Reserve rate hike and the press conference. Count the profit. I will make a break. Count the profit. Yes, it's 1,000 pips, 24 hours. Incredible. Silver is one of the most profitable assets in the year 2016. All right, we talked too much today. Now we have to quickly get into the next thing, which is how to use the Ichimoku Cloud in intraday trading. Very, very quickly, because we're running out of time and I understand that all of you are tired. So, we see the trend. It's the dollar, Japanese yen again, the daily chart, and we see the trend. So once the price bounces back down to the yellow line, it's a signal to buy. We see 1, 2, 3, 4 signals. It has to be corrected. Okay, so you see the daily chart, you open the daily chart, and the daily chart is much more important in the technical analysis rather than inside one day. But you have to find always the confirmations. So you can open different time frames for the same asset using the same indicator and try to find the confirmations. Let's take a look at 4 hours chart. What do we see here? Let's squeeze a bit. Again, signal number 1, we see the candle and we're buying this asset. Signal number 2, we're trying to get into the span but we fail. Signal number 3, it has to be corrected again, and the bounce back to the blue line at the 4 hours chart is also a buy signal. Let's switch to the hourly chart and try to take a look at at all of the signals that we had. You can see that buy dips, meaning that you wait just for a pullback of the price and you buy it according to the trend, and it's giving you the profit. Next is pound yen, and it's an hourly chart. Pay attention, always pay attention to the time frame. Take a look at here. This is a very strong signal for the Ichimoku Cloud. Why? Because the price was above the cloud itself before and it bounced back, right? We entered inside the span, inside the cloud, but we failed to break through. So once you see such a candle with a shadow that touches the bottom of the span, it's always a strong buy signal. And let's just count possible profit on that. Let's take a look here. 142.5, and let's imagine that we take profit somewhere here. We got 300 pips. 300 pips in less than a day. Let's take a look at the next signal. Again, the same story. We're inside the cloud. We are trying to get down. We are trying to break through the cloud, but we cannot do that. The bears just don't have enough power to do that. So we failed to break it through, and it's a strong buy signal. So let's count the profit on the next signal. By the way, it's 300 pips again. Same here. You see the same signal on an hourly chart as we saw it here. And by the way, it's a right decision, but let's imagine that we don't see it. We don't know it. Just Ichimoku Cloud is showing you a strong buy signal. And we got, yes, you know the answer, more than 300 pips in 24 hours. So it's just an intraday trading. We don't talk about huge movements. We don't talk about daily chart. We don't talk about lots of things to analyze. It's just you enter, you hold your position 24 hours, and you get your profit. So those 3 signals of Ichimoku Cloud could give you 900 pips of the profit in the period of time less than 2 weeks. So count your profit, guys. What I wanted to show is another strong signal here, and it's a take profit signal. Let's be honest, I wouldn't sell that assets. Why? It's just because I don't want to get outside the trend. I don't want to get against it. But still, it's a strong signal to take profit in case if you hold your position for a long period of time. You know what I mean? All right, quickly, gold. Ichimoku, 4 hours a period of time, is giving you sell signal for the gold. Here, again, the attempt to get into the cloud, it failed. Here, the same, and this is also a very strong signal when the price is trying to touch the blue line. We failed to break it through, and we are going down. The date, pay attention, is always combined with the fundamental events, and it's a Federal Reserve rate hike. So we got signals, and what I did is just highlighted the same dates with the same time for the silver. So my point is that when you see a strong sell signal by the trend, when you see it on gold, you always have to pay attention at silver and open the same position. So you can see the same dates, the same time, and you can count possible profits of the silver. What would I highlight is the 1000 pips in 24 hours. It's the most profitable deal in the year 2016. So just imagine, incredible, $1,000 open position and you get $10,000 of the profit in 24 hours. No comments. Alright guys, we're running out of time. We have to get into the main idea of this webinar. You can get 100% bonus, guys. It's just a Christmas gift from Currency House. Every deposit today, till the end of the day tomorrow, can get 100% bonus, or you can get our Master Apprenticeship course free of charge, which contains 20 hours of video lessons brought to you by our professionals. In case if you got any questions, in case if you want to make sure that you will get your bonus for the Christmas, please feel free to email me or ask your account manager at any way that is comfortable for you. My pleasure to talk to you guys. I wish you have a Merry Christmas, and we'll see you next week. Thanks for your attention, guys.